Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We are going to start lesson number 11. Ad-Darsul Hadi Ashara. Lesson number 11. Al-Bintu wa Shaykhu, the girl and Shaykh. Before we go through the lesson, let's review the concepts of this lesson. So this lesson is about tawabe. At-tawabe are the words that follow another word in Arab. So their Arab, they follow the other words and they have the same Arab. Let's go through it. So the first one is at-tawabe. The first one of it is called sifa. Sifa is like in English is adjective, the adjective of a word. Here are some examples. Ash-shaykhu hasanun rajulun tayyibun wa rahimun. Sheikh Hassan is a good man and compassionate, is a good and compassionate man. So we know Rajulun is a man, Tayyibun is a good man. So good is actually the adjective of Rajulun, and it is just opposite in English. In English we have the adjective coming before, like he is a good man. Good comes first before man, but in Arabic it is opposite. So the adjective comes after the word that is adjective for. So like here is Tayyibun is coming after Rajulun, and so we see that Rajulun is a nakira, ism nakira, is not marifa. So then that is why the adjective is nakira, and this has a rafa form, and this also has a rafa form. And this Rajulun is masculine, Tayyibun is masculine, and Rajulun is one, Tayyibun is one. So Tayyibun is following Rajulun in all these areas. Let's take another example. Kharaja Shaykhu yawman lis-salati fi jabalin ba'idin. Shaykh went to a day for prayer in Jabalin Ba'idin, in a far mountain. So here Jabal is a mountain and Ba'idun is adjective for Jabalin. So you see here is Jabal is majroor because of fi, and Ba'idin is also majroor, and this is nakira, this is also nakira, no al, and also this is singular and this is singular. Similarly, if we say Bafi Tariki Ra Faratan Maridatan, and on the way he saw a sick mouse. So Maridatan Faratan. So Maridatan is the adjective for Faratan, sick mouse. And this is Mansoob because it's coming as a Maful Bihi. Faratan, he saw what? He saw a mouse. And this is Mansoob, this is also Mansoob, this is Nakira, this is also Nakira. And this is feminine, this is also feminine. This has a Ta marbuta and Ta marbuta. Tusaidu hazihil farata sagiratal wahidata. You help this little lonely mouse. So a sagirata is the adjective for farata. Here we have two adjectives, sagirata, wahidata, lonely, alone, and small. So and we see that this is marifa, has al, this also, they also have al, and this is feminine, this is mansoob because it is also maful bihi. So this is mansoob, the adjective, they are also mansoob. Akhaz al-farita al-yatimata, he took the orphan mouse. So same thing, al-farita this is coming as maful bihi, so that is why is mansoob, and this is the adjective is also mansoob, as is proper noun al, and is feminine. Singular. Lakinnahum la yaishuna ma'al firani sagira, but they cannot live with the little mice. So Firanil Sagira, and this has a al. This has a kasra. This has a kasra because it's following ma. So is zarf mudaf alayh. So that is why is majroor, because this is mudaf alayh. So the naat has to follow this word. Da Allah an tasir al faratu bintan jamilatan. He called or he prayed Allah that the mouse becomes a beautiful girl. So in the story, this is the very interesting story about a mouse that becomes a girl. So here is Jamilatan Bintan. So we see Bintan. Bintan is mansoob because it's coming as maf'ul bihi. So that is why is the adjective is mansoob. Is feminine, and this is nakira. Al banatu farihna bi ukhtihinna al jadidata. The girls, they were happy with their new sister. So al jadida is not for ukhti, new sister. Ukhti is actually marifa, because this is ukhti is also marifa, but for mudaf cannot have al, so we can't see al. Otherwise is al ukhti, the al is there because the adjective has al, and is because of ba is ukhti ism majroor, so that is why ism majroor and is feminine and feminine. Nahnu kulluna akhwatuha al kabiratu. We, all of us, are her older sisters. Kabiratu, older sisters. Similarly, kabiratu is the adjective for akhawatu. So is rafa, and this is rafa. This is marifa. This is also marifa, but again we can't see al here because of is mudaf. And is plural. Talabaki lizwaji rijalun tajibuna. The good men, they asked for marriage. Lizwaji, they ask you for marriage. So rijalun tajibuna. So rijalun is plural, tajibuna is plural, is like a plural by waw, is like muslimuna, and is rafa, and this tajibuna is also rafa because this is on the pattern of jama muzakkar salim, muslimun, muslimani, muslimuna. So this is like tajibun, tajibani, tajibuna, and so is rafa, is plural, is like nakira. Lakinnal fara sagira aqwa minni, but the little mouse is stronger than me. So al fara as-sagira, al has a fatha, singular. Fahuwa yakdiru. So sagira is the adjective for fara. Fahuwa yakdiru an yaksira hijarati sulba. He is able to break my rock, solid rock. He can break my solid rock. So sulba is the adjective for hijara. Again, this is mudaf alayhi. We can't see al here, but without the mudaf alayhi combination, this will have al. And this is hijara. This is maf'ul bihi. So this is mansoob and this is mansoob. Now these were the examples. So now here is the explanation. Akhaz al farita li yatimata. He took the orphan mouse. So we know akhaza is the verb, fara is maf'ul bihi, and yatima is the adjective for fara. في هذه الجملة الفعلية أين الفعل? In this جملة فعلية, where is the fail? Where is the verb? So أخذ is the verb. وأين الفاعل والمفعول به? Where is the file and مفعول به? So we know there is no file, there is no word with the dhamma in the rafa form, so the file is hidden in it. So we'll say failu damirun mustatirun huwa, so is the hidden pronoun in it, huwa. Wal maful bihi, and farata is maful bihi. Walakin, but ma wazifatul yatimata, what is the function of yatima? Wazifatun jadidatun, this is a new function. Tasifu al-fara, which describes the mouse. So this describes this. Similarly, another example, Tusirul faratu bintan jamilatan, the mouse became a beautiful girl. Fi hazihil jumlatil ismiyatil mansukhati, this is jumla ismiya mansukha because it's the Sara is the sister of Kana, so which is the fail nasikh. So ainal failun nasikhu, where is the fail nasikh? Tusiru is the fail nasikh. And wa aina ismu tusiru, where is the ismu tusiru? Wa khabruhu, where is the ismu tusiru? Wa khabruhu. So al faratu, just like kana, the ismu kana is marfu and khabru kana is mansub. Similarly, Sara is the sister of Kana, so it has al faratu is ismu tusiru wa khabruhu is bintan. Walakin, but ma wazifatu jamilatan, what is the function of jamilatan? So is a wazifatun jadidatun, is a new function which does tasifu bintan, that describes the bintan, that describes the girl. So this is the adjective of bintan. Here is another example. Kharaja shaykhu yawman lissalati fi jablin ba'idin. Shaykh left a day for prayer in a far away mountain. Fi hazihil jumlatil failiyati ma wazifatu jablin, what is the function of jablin? So we know kharaja is fail, failu madin mabni al fathi has a fatha, shaykhu is the file, filul marfun wal amatu rafi ad damma, and yawman is the maful bihi, a day is mansub, and lissalati jarurun majrurun, fi jablin is fi harf of jarrin, and jablin is a majrur. So jablin is, the question is, what is the function of jablin? Jablin is ismun majrurun ba'da fi, is the ism majrur ba'da fi. Walakin ma wazifatu ba'idin, what is the function of ba'idin? Is again wazifatun jadidatun, is a new function tasifu jablin, which describes the mountain. So in fi jumlis sabika, in all these sentences, like we saw Raina, we saw that al farat al yatima. So in the first example was al farat al yatima, the orphan mouse, and in the second example was bintan jamilatan, beautiful girl, and jablin ba'idin, in the third example was the distant mountain. So in these three examples, wa arafna anna al yatima, we know that the yatima, this word tasiful fara is the adjective of fara. Wa jamila tasifu bintan, it jamila is the adjective of bintan, and ba'idin is tasifu jabalin, is the adjective of jabalin. Well, ana narifu anna, now we know that al yatima jamilatan, al yatimata jamilatan, and ba'idin, they all ismuha fil lughat al arabiyya sifa, is called adjective. So these three words, now they call adjective, and they are adjective of the word, I mean whatever the word they describe is called mawsuf. So now new concept is mawsuf sifa. So yatima is adjective for mawsuf al fara, Jamilatan is sifa for bintan, so sifa, and this is mawsuf, and this is sifa for mawsuf. So this is what it says. Al-Fara, Bintan and Jabalin, these three, they are ism fi lugat al-Arabiyya, in the Arabic language they are called mawsuf. Wa nulahizu, and we notice Iza kanal mawsufu marfuun fasifa marfuun. We have like seen that when the mawsuf was marfu, sifa is marfu, and when kanal mawsufu mansuban, sifa is mansub, and when kanal mawsufu majrurun, sifa is majrur. So when mawsuf is marfu, if it's marfu, mansub and majrur, the sifa is gonna have the same i'rab. وإذ كان الموصوف مذكرا فصفة مذكرا and مؤنثا فصفة مؤنثا. And when the mawsuf is masculine, the sifa is gonna be masculine and vice versa. وإذ كان الموصوف معرفة فصفة معرفة and vice versa. Nakira to nakira. And when mawsuf is mufrad, sifa is mufrad or musanna or plural. So in other words, the sifa will follow its mawsuf in the status of it, like if it's rafa nasab jar, if it's masculine, then masculine, it's gonna follow the gender of the mawsuf. If gender is masculine, sifa is masculine or feminine and feminine. And then if the status is marifa, is gonna be marifa. If it's nakira, is gonna be nakira. And if it's going to be masculine, naat is going to be masculine, that we have done. If it's a singular, then it's going to be singular, or if the mawsuf is going to be dual, then the sifa is going to be dual, and if mawsuf is going to be plural, then mawsuf is going to be plural, then sifa is also going to be plural. So sifa is going to follow its mawsuf in all those properties. Next is ataf, the connector. Al-ataf means the connector. So here are the examples. So actually here is something omitted. So is actually this statement is Ash-Shaykhu Hasanun Rajulun Tayyibun wa Rahimun. Sheikh Hasan is a good and compassionate man. This is the example. Yuhibbu kulla khalqillahi wa yusahiduhum. He loves all the creation of Allah and he helps them. Ra'a faratan maridatan, he saw a sick mouse. Fazahaba ilayha, and then he went to her. Wakala, and he said, Kaifa usaiduki, how can I help you? Fakkara shaykhu summa da'allah. The sheikh thought, the sheikh had an idea. Summa, then he called Allah, he called Allah. Marratil ayyamu, the days passed by. Wakaburat al bintu, and the girl became older. Fakala laha ash-shaykhu, and the sheikh told her. So these were some examples. So let's see where we find the ataf. Sharhud explanation. Ash-Shaykh Hasan Rajulun Tayyibun wa Rahimun. So this is the example from the first group. Fi hazihi jumlat al-ismiyati ma wazifati tayyib. What is the function of tayyib? So this is jumla ismiya. So this is starting from a noun. So in this sentence, we know that tayyib is the adjective for rajulun. So the question is ma wazifatu tayyib. What is tayyib? We know that is sifa. Walakin, but ma wazifatu rahim. What is the function of rahim? So rahim, this is the sifa, and this rahim is separated by waw. Ishtarakat ma tayyibun fi wasfi rajulun. So actually this is also a sifa. This is joining tayyib. And this also describes the sifa of it. So like a good man and compassionate man. So is joining with tayyib in in the description of a man. Well, ana narifu anna, now we know that Rahimun ismuha fi lugat al-Arabiyya matuf. Now in Arabic language this is called because this is following after wa, so this is called matuf. So this is the matuf, this is the connecting word, and connecting to, because this is connecting to tayyib, so tayyib is called matuf alayh. So this is the terminology we have to remember. So matuf and matuf alayh. Is kana matuf alayh marfoon fal matufu marfoon. So when this is marfu, this also has to be marfu. If this is going to be mansoob, this has to be mansoob, and this is going to be majroor, this has to be majroor, etc. Yajibu an yakuna bainal matufi wal matuf alayh harfun. It is must that there should be harfu atfin. We called it harfu atfin. Like in this example, this waw, there should be a harfu atfin to make it matuf, and this is called haruful atfi. Yajibu an yakuna bainal matufi wal matuf alayh harfun ismuhu min al harufil ataf. So between matuf and matuf alayh, there should be a harfu atfin. These are huruful ataf, the particles of connecting, like waw. Waw is used manaha istarak bainal matufi wal matuf alayh. So waw is used to connect, is for joining matuf and matuf alayh. So waw means and. Fa is then manaha il ishtiraku wa tartibu. So if there are two incidents happening one after the other, then we use fa. Fa means then, and so it is the ishtirak is the joining, and then is also tartib, is also follow the incidents in the same like tartib, that's arrangement. Like if this happened, then this happened, then this happened. But the important thing is laisa bainahuma zamnun. There should not be a long time between when there is not a long time between the incidents, then we use fa. If there is a long time, then we use summa. So the summa is also for joining the words or the incidents and the arrangement, but it should be between them should be a long time. Aw is for ikhtiyar, for choice. If there is a choice between the words this or this, so then we use aw, but they all called haruful ataf. So they have to be there between matuf and matuf alayh. Now take this example. Fakkara shaykhu, the sheikh had an idea, summa, then the Allah, he called or he prayed Allah, he called Allah. So we see this is summa is used, fa is not used. So that means is not that he had an idea. I mean it explains that there were two events. Fakkara shaykha, that sheikh, he had an idea. So that was the first event, that was the first thing happened, and then he called Allah. So summa means between these two events there was a long time, not a short time. I mean he didn't have an idea and then he immediately called Allah, although he called Allah after he had the idea. So the arrangement is there, same. So we could use fa if there was not a long time involved in these two events, but here summa is used. That means between these two events there should have been a long time. So fakkara shaykhu, sheikh had an idea and he thought about it and then he called Allah. So fi hazihi al-jumlati hal summa, is summa harfu atfin, is summa harfu atfin? Yes, naam. Wa aynal matufu wa matuf alay, and then which one is matuf and matuf alay? So al matuf here is the whole jumla. The Allah, he called Allah, is the matuf for this whole jumla. Fakkara shaykhu. So this whole jumla is matuf, and this whole form of matuf alay, this whole jumla. So this is also possible. So now we know that Alana narifu anna, that. Al-matuf, the matuf, rubbama, maybe, yakunu jumlatan, maybe a jumla, wa huna yakunu al-matuf alla jumlatan aizan. So the matuf can be a word or can be a jumla, but here matuf alla is also a jumla. Al-badal, the substitute, the one that substitute meant that taking the place of the other. So this is the third of the tawabe, the followers. So al-badal is the third one. Here we have some example. Ash-shaykhu hasanun rajulun tayyibun wa rahimun. The Shaykh Hassan is a good and compassionate man. Tusaidu hazihil farata sagirata al-wahidata. You help this little and lonely mouse. Hazihil bintu ukhtukunna. This girl is your sister. So now we know the word that I have a rectangle or a square on. What are those words? So the explanation. The first one is being explained here. Ash-shaykhu hasanun rajulun tayyibun wa rahimun. Fi hazihil jumlatil ismiyati. In this jumla ismiya, aina al-mubtada. Where is mubtada? We know ash-shaykhu is mubtada. Wa aina al-khabru, and where is khabar? Rajulun is khabar. Shaykh is a man. Walakin ma wazifatu hasanun. What is the function of hasanun? Ash-shaykhu is equal to hasanun. So actually shaykh and hasan, they both are same. Hasan is referring to shaykh. So for kalima hasanun taqulu lana man huwa shaykhu. So the word hasan tells us who is shaykh. So this is actually his name. So or he tells us that who is shaykh. So that was this first example. Now this is another example. Hazihil bintu ukhtukunna. This girl is your sister. So now this is the example taken. Fi hazihil jumlatil ismiyati aina al-mubtada. Where is mubtada? We know hazihil is mubtada. And wa aina al-khabru, where is khabar? Ukhtu is khabar. This is a girl. And walakin ma wazifatu al-bintu. What is the function of al-bintu? So al-bintu is the one that refers to hazihi. So hazihi is equal to al-bintu. So hazihi al-bintu is actually the same thing. Hazihi is a pointer. This girl, so the pointer going to this girl, but is the same. Is actually the pointer is describing to the direction it is pointing to. So fakalima al-bintu taqulu lana. So the word bintu tells us inni ayyu shayyin, which thing tushiru hazihi, that hazihi is indicating or pointing. Wal ana narifu, now we know anna, that hasanun and al-bintu, these two example, ismuha fil lugat al-arabiyya, they are called in lugat al-arabiyya al-badal, substitute. They are called substitute. And ash-shaykhu wa hazihi, and they are substitute of what? So Hasan is substitute of ash-shaykh and bintu is substitute for hazihi, and these are called al-badal. And what are they called? They are called al-mubdal minhu. So ash-shaykh wa hazihi, they are called ismuha fil lugat al-arabiyya al-mubdal minhu. They are called mubdal minhu. Iza kana mubdal minhu marfoon fal badal marfoon. So when mubdal minhu is marfu, badal is marfu. When is mansub, and is mansub. So in this example, ash-shaykhu hasanun, so is marfu because badal is marfu because mubdal minhu is marfu. This is marfu because hazihi is mubtada, so it has to be marfu, but this is mabni. We can't see the these are the words that don't show their haraka. So otherwise this is this is marfu also, and that is why is mubtada. So yakunul badlu adatan, normally the substitute is alaman, is a name ba'da ism marifa, after ism marifa, like in this case Hasanun is the name of this ism marifa, and aw ism marifa bi al ba'da ismul ishara, after ism ishara. So after ism ishara, hazihi is having a al. So this is normally this happens. Number 4, at-tukidu, the emphasis. So this is the last one of the tawabe. Here are some examples. Anta akbaruha, you are bigger of her. Al-aslu la yatagayyaru, the original does not change. So in other words, is the repetition here is for only for emphasis. At-tukidu is emphasis. So the emphasis can be but just by repeating the word. And then the second group is hatta anta nafsuka la taqdiru, even you yourself, la taqdiru, are not able, you are not able. As-sahabu nafsuhu yamna'u nuri, the cloud himself, yamna'u nuri, it can block or stop my illumination. I mean, if there is a cloud, that it can stop the illumination of the moon. So this is what comes in the lesson. وَنَحْنُ كُلُّنَا أَخْوَاتُهَا الْكَبِيرَاتِ, and we, all of us, are your older sisters. So kulluna, and then ar-rijalu kulluhum tayyibuna, the men, all of them, they are good. لَأَلَّكِ تُرِيدُونَ الْقَمَرَ الَّذِي يُنِيرُ الْأَرْضَ كُلَّهَا, hopefully you want the moon, the one who illuminates or enlightens the earth, all of it. So kullaha is referring to the earth, the whole of it. So is the emphasis on the earth. So similarly, all words they are used for the emphasis. وَيَحْمِلُنِي إِلَى الْأَمَاكِنِ جَمِيعِهَا, and it carries me, وَيَحْمِلُنِي, it carries me to the places, جَمِيعِهَا, all of it. So this is referring to the wind that carries the clouds to all the places. So jamiha is referring to the places. So here is the explanation. The first one, al-aslu la yatagayyaru, maza nara fi hazihil jumla. What we see in this sentence, kalimatul aslu takarrarat marrataini. The word al-aslu is repeated or it has come twice. Is a takrar here. Falimaza, but and why? Li'annaha muhimmatun, because this is important. So we want to make an emphasis because this is important. Well, al-ana narifu, we know anna that al-kalima rabuma tatakarraru fi jumlati, a word that may be repeated in a sentence. Li'annaha muhimmatun, because this is important. Wa yakunu zalika bihadfi at-tukidi, and it is for the purpose of emphasis. That for the purpose of emphasis, repetition we can we can repeat a word for the purpose of emphasis. Al-kalima saniya yakunu ismuha tukid, and that this second word is called tukid, is the one called tukid or the emphasis, and the one that is the emphasis for, and kalmatul ula, the first kalima, is called al-muwakkad. So tukid and muwakkad. Iza kana al-muwakkadu marfu'an fa tukid marfu'. So if muwakkad is marfu', tukid is gonna be marfu', etc. I mean, it's mansoob, majroor. So tukid is gonna follow is muwakkad for all the i'rab. Laysa kullu takrarin tukidin, not all the repetition of words is the emphasis. For example, I mean, if is not always that a word that is repeated is always an emphasis. Here is an example. Faiza kulna, when we said Rajatil faratu faratan, the mouse became the mouse returned to mouse. So in the lesson, the mouse was returned to a girl, then it changed back to a mouse. So this is not an emphasis, this is actually showing the incident. So فهل كان التكرار في هذه الجملة بهدف توكيدي, is the repetition here is for the purpose of emphasis? لا, no. فالمعنى أن الفارة, so the meaning is that the mouse التي كانت بنتا, that became a girl, رجعت مرة أخرى فارة, it became mouse and one more time. So for it was a mouse, then it became a girl, then it changed back to the mouse. So is not for emphasis here. فَمِنْ هُنَا نَفْهَمُ أَنَّ الْكَلِمَةَ فَارَ, so from it we understand that the word fara, saniya, the second one is laysa tukidan, is not for emphasis, lilula, for the first one. Now we're taking another second example. So from this group, there is an example. They all behave the same. This is just one is explained. As-sahabu. So the example is as-sahabu nafsuhu yamna'u nuri. The cloud himself, that stops or blocks my light. So في هذه الجملة الاسمية أين المبتدأ, where is the مبتدأ, السحاب, the clouds, وأين الخبر يمنع النوري, this is خبر, this جملة فعلية is the خبر for السحاب, وما وظيفة نفسه, what is the function of نفسه, قريبة من معنى توكيدي, it is close to the meaning of emphasis, الذي, that we درسناه قبل ذلك, that we have studied before that. بالضبط, exactly. Well, ana nafhamu, we now understand anna that at-tukida rubbama yakunu bishakli akhara ghayra takrari, that emphasis is possible maybe in another word which is not a repetition. Wa huna yakunu at-tukidu bistikhdami kalimatin ukhra, and we use, instead of repeating a word, we can use another words, kalimatin ukhra, we can use another word for that, and these are the hazil kalimati, and these are the words that can be used for emphasis. Kullu, nafsu, ainu, jamiyu, like we have seen in those examples, they all for nafsu, kullu, jamiyu, they all coming as a emphasis, for emphasis. هذه الكلمات يجب أن تكون مع ضمير يرجع إلى المؤكد. So these words must have a pronoun that it returns to the muakkad. Like, so if we take all these examples, these nafsu, they have a pronoun like nafsuka, ka is the mir, is the pronoun that is referring to the muakkad. So here who referring to sahab, na referring to nahnu, hum referring to rijal, ha referring to the earth, and ha referring to the places. So there should be a pronoun. So there must be a pronoun, antakunu ma zamiri, they should come with the pronoun that refers to the muakkad. Unzur ila hazihil jumla, look at this sentence. Lallaka turidin al kamra, hopefully you want the moon, allazi, the one who yunirul arza, that illuminates the earth, kullaha, all of it. So kulla is actually referring to, this is kulla is emphasis referring to the earth, meaning all of it, to make an emphasis that it illuminates the whole earth. Fazmiru ha yarjiu ilal arzi, so ha is actually referring to earth, which is the muakkad. Kulla is for emphasis, tokid, and it is muakkad, so ha is referring to the earth. Al kalimatu kullu nafsu ainu jamiyu laysa daiman tuqidan. But these words, they can come without emphasis also. Is not that they always, when they come, they come for emphasis. So here is an example. Vaisa kulna, when we said yuhibbu kulla khalqillahi wa yusaiduhum, when we said that he loves all the creation of Allah and help them. So for kalima kullu huna la tuakkad kalima ukhra qablaha. So here he loves. So kulla is not referring to the muakkad. I mean, is not the emphasis on loving. Is actually telling that he loves whole the creation of Allah. So is not used for emphasis here. So kullu huna la tuakkadu kalima ukhra qablaha is not to emphasize the word that coming before. For here laysat tuqidan, so it's not for emphasis. Yajibu an narifu anna, now we know that at-tuqid allazi nastakhdimu fi takrari. So now the word that is used for emphasis, if we use the same word, then we call it at-tuqidu lafzi. We call it the emphasis of the word. And what tuqidu allazi nastakhdimu fil kalimati fi kullu nafsu jamiu. And if we use the other words to make emphasis, we call it tuqidul manwi, the emphasis on the meaning. So in other words, there are two types of emphasis. Tuqidul lafzi, by the repetition of the word, which is called tuqidul lafzi, and it's the repetition is the meaning, emphasis on the meaning is called tuqidul manwi. So now we just ending this topic. Sifa wal badal wal matuf wa tuqi. So all these are called tawabe. We call them tawabe because liannaha tatabiu kalimat, because they follow another word qablaha, before it, wa yakunu laha nafsu wazifatiha, and there is they have the same function of it, just like I have explained that they follow the word before it in their i'rab, so they have the same function. So now here is a summary. Tawabe, there are 4 type of tawabe: sifa, badal, matuf and tuqid. Sifa, if is marifa, I mean, then if the masuf is marifa, the sifa is marifa. If it's nakira, is nakira. I mean, we have seen that for all the properties. If is masculine, feminine. So sifa is following in the gender status. If is marifa. If is rafa, nasab, jar, I mean whatever is, so sifa is going to follow all those properties. Similarly, al badal is alamun bada marifa. It can be a name after ism marifa, and it can be marifa with al bada ismu ishara. We have studied that. Al matuf is ism matuf ala ismin. So matuf can be an ism matuf, and I mean one word only. It can be jumla matufa ala jumla. It can be ism matuf, can be a jumla on another jumla. At-tuqidu, we have just studied this. The emphasis can be with the repetition of the word that called lafzi, at-tuqidul lafzi, and it can be emphasis by using another words plus the pronoun that refers to the muakkad, so is called manavi. So that is all the concept, and we go through some examples and do the i'rab. So I'm gonna stop it here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.